Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. We today have got an egg sac pulling. Now this is one that I had intended, I don't know if you can see this, you should be able to see this. This is an Avicularia or the common pink toe, and this is her egg sac here. Now we noticed this egg sac back on the 20th of the 7th. So it's actually been 51 days and it's not hatched. So I think what we're going to do, we are going to pull it and we're going to see whether it's any good, because normally although we have let the room go a little bit cooler, normally we would expect to have had this hatch by now. So we quite often pull them around about 30-35 days, and they're normally good eggs with legs or first stage nymphs. So I would have thought this would have hatched by now. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull it out. 51 days seems a long time. Now if I open this up, if we come over here, you can get a good look inside this cereal box. Now we've been doing these cereal boxes since we moved into this place, and you can see here just how she's webbed the whole thing in. There is absolutely, now if you were a predator, there is no way you're getting down inside where she is buried at the bottom here with her egg sac. So not only does this protect her from any predators or prying eyes, this will also hold within there, the air content will stay relatively stable. So any moisture down there would stay pretty stable, because this, all of this webbing would in fact seal it in. So what we're going to do now, you can see she's already moved. She's already gone. So what we're going to do, we are going to pull this away, and we are just going to cut through the top. There we go. You see how thick it is? Absolutely immensely thick. And you can see the top layer, because of its discoloration, you can see how, look how thick that is. And then you've got this fine white, snowy white sort of stuff underneath. So that's a massive sac. Very, very good sac. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our longer tweezers, and we're going to see if we can't, you can see that, can you? See if we can't just tempt her off of it. We just want to pinch the very edge of it. I don't want to get her leg. She's actually got hold of me. What I'll do, use the other set. Damn it. Alright. She's being cheeky. Alright, hold on. I can't quite reach in there with the lower ones. So what we're going to do, try and get her off with a brush. We don't want her to grip the egg sac if we can help it. There we go, we got it. We've got it. See how them tiny little claws on her toes, how they just grip onto absolutely anything, the finest imperfection, and they grip on. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fill her water bowl up. We're going to leave her uncovered. We'll offer her some food in a little while. So we'll leave her there. Let's put this back on. I can come around this way.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now, get rid of our bits and pieces. Let's have a little look, see what this feels like. Can't actually feel anything in there. There is a little bit of weight. Right. Look at that, how beautiful and clean this is. Absolutely remarkable. You see that? Alright, let's have a little, tear it open. Fingers crossed, guys. We haven't bred these for a long time, so it'd be really, really nice if we're successful. Look how thick that is. That's a really thick egg sac. We still haven't got in there. Still can't quite see. There's darkness there. We can't see whether it's good or bad. This should be the one. Oh, there's a few in there. There's a couple. Not many. Right, let's open this right up. Yes. And as you can see, there is a couple in there. But there's many, many what we would class as infertile. And these don't look particularly... Yeah, we might have just got this in time. They're not the most liveliest, are they? I think if we'd left this any longer, we probably would have lost these few that are in here. So 51 days, we were right in what we were thinking, and it was a good shout to actually pull these out at this stage. Now, although the eggs look good, I think maybe when there's only a when there's only a few inside the egg sac like this one, there's not enough movement, and I think the female, she doesn't realise that there is live young in there, and hence they don't open them up. You would have thought she would have opened this up by now, but I think it's just because there is just such a lack of movement. Just see them starting to move around a little bit now. Right, let's see if we can't get these little fellas up. We'll pop them in the nursery, one by one. Thing is, with this webbing, it is so fine, and my hands, my fingers are so rough that they literally snag on every little tiny imperfection on your skin. Look at that, it just grips your skin. Hopefully, we're going to be able to salvage these. They don't look the best in the world. Oh, little mate, wakey wakey. There you go. Yeah. That one is actually stuck to an egg. I'll sort that one out in a minute. So I'm left in no doubt, if we'd left this, we would have lost them all. The easiest things to... There we go. Once we get them in there, we can deal with them. Okay.
Yes, too. So I can get them in.
Yeah, better picture inside. Yeah, some of them don't look particularly good. As you can see, they're not overly lively. We would expect them to be a little bit more on the move. And hopefully now 24 hours in the cup and they might perk up a little bit. So all we can do is hope for the best. We'll see what happens. Now we still don't really understand whether what causes this sort of thing. Is this just poor fertility? Maybe poor genetics in the parents? Could be poor husbandry? We don't know. You know, is there something we're doing wrong? The only way we can sort of gauge it is when we get successful sacks from the same species. We can normally figure that our husbandry is okay. And then if we're getting poor sacks from the same individual spider, then we can then look at maybe thinking that it's something to do with the genetics of maybe that spider. But this all takes time. I can't get this one off. See how it all sticks to you?
Yes, you need soft hands like me.
Yeah. There we go.
Be calm.
Be calm.
Be gentle.
Yeah. Only a couple more now.
Mum's come out for a drink.
She come out, has she? Yeah, she's having a drink. Might be able to... They're normally quite steady. There we go. You see her? Shall I take her down there?
Yes, please.
There you go. Now you see, she was a good mum in the fact that she hasn't left this sack once. She's been on it all the time. And you can see there that she's actually ready for a drink as well. Look at this. I would imagine she will probably take a feed as well. So we'll give her a go in a minute. We'll find a nice big roach for her.
I was trying to get her abdomen, but I can't from here.
Yeah, she's not too bad.
You done?
Last one. Oh. Oh man. There we go. Right. So that is it. So the rest of them that are in here are all infertile, as we can see. They're all infertile eggs. That wouldn't have been a bad sized egg sac if it wasn't for the infertility. And we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 20 there, one of which doesn't look very good at all.
2 touched eggs.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, these don't look good, so these are probably won't survive. We'll have a little play. Oh, that one's come away. So we'll try and clean these up. You can see the little white bits there. These are the remains of molt. So we will try and clean them off. We'll leave them for a little bit in. See, these are coming away now. So we'll just clean them up a little bit. And hopefully they'll be all right. We will see. All right. So what was that? 19. Not the biggest catch of the day. Let me see if I can find a roach for our female. A nice big fat roach. Not the best one, is it? Right. She might take it. Sometimes they'll feed, sometimes they won't. Normally we give them a little bit of time. We'll just offer this one up. We'll see whether she's interested. Not particularly. I think she's more interested in having a drink. We'll leave her to it. We'll leave him in there. She will mop him up later on once she's good and ready. Right. Well, not a raging success by any means. Now we're sort of interesting actually, because we've just starting to get a couple of sacs coming out of this room now. You would have remembered a little while back we'd done the vegans. We had one sac that was completely dried out and one sac that was really good. So that was a sort of 50-50 success. With this one, we've ended up with probably maybe only 10 or 15% of the sac was actually viable. Now, one of the things that we have done differently this time round is we've paired our spiders mainly by cohabiting them. So we've literally left them in the net overnight and let them get on with it. And we've not done much else apart from that. So before, we used to physically do our spiders and we'd watch them and I'd film a lot of them. We've not really had the time to film them of late. This is something we want to get back into and start doing more of, because I think our success rates were better. Now we always pair our spiders 2, sometimes 3 times, and this isn't appearing to be making much difference. Now we also had a what did we have? A Panama blonde. And she held on to her sac really well, and when that hatched, that only had about half a dozen in it as well. And we'll have a look at her again at a later date. Well, actually we can have a look now. Well, let me find her, because here she is. So she is in here. Now if you come over here, you'll see these are actually getting on. Now, these hatched out inside here, and if you look down in there, you'll see on the left hand side one that's quite large.
I need to be this way, babe.
So if we zoom in, you'll see there's one there that's actually quite large. That one has just molted out, and you'll see a couple there that are a little bit smaller. Now with this one, exactly, there he comes, introducing himself to the world. Now in this case we had exactly the same thing. We had what we thought was a really nice egg sac, and there was only around about half a dozen or so, I think, hatched out. We couldn't see many more than that, so we've left them in there to do their thing, and they're actually at a stage now where it's going to be worth catching them up and potting them up, because I think, looking at that, there is probably only the 3 in there. Now with the Panama Blonde, there's a very good chance that that will actually reset again, and we might end up getting another sac. And sometimes the second sac can be more successful than the first, which really throws the question as to whether it was fertility that was the problem. Because you would imagine if the second sac was good, then the fertility would have been there for the first one. So it's a real minefield, but it's interesting. It's very, very interesting that we're actually starting to throw up some of these questions in here. These are things that we didn't really suffer with in our last place. Is it because of these tubs? Maybe we're not getting the right environment in the tubs. When we had the glass tanks, they worked really well and our success rates were really high. Now we've had a few now that have gone a little bit awry in these. So is it the tub? Maybe it's the enclosure. Maybe it's the room. It could literally be the room. As we know, different rooms have different pressures in them. So this could be something like barometric pressure. This can be something that can affect things in the wild. So does it actually happen in the same in captivity? We don't know. Maybe there's a different thing going on in these tubs in regards to pressures compared to our glass enclosures. With our glass, we've got really good ventilation, very good ventilation. With these, they're a bit more sealed in. So there's many, many questions that we need to ask and play around with. And I think it's something that we will persevere with these and see where we go. Even when we get moving over into our glass tanks, we will still keep some and try them in these. I think it's going to be a really good thing to actually to monitor and learn and find out what the differences are. Right, now we have got a couple more on egg sacs in these tubs, so fingers crossed, we'll keep an eye on them and we'll see where that leads us later on. But for today, our Avic's, a little bit disappointing, 19 nymphs, but still a success, just not a great one. But hey, here we go, we try again. So if this is happening with you, and maybe you've lost a sac or you just had 1 or 2, don't get disheartened, just get your spider molted out, feed her up, try again later on. That's exactly what we're going to do with this girl. We're going to get her back into tip-top condition, and then we will try her again. We'll see what happens next time. All right then. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you soon, guys.